The Morrigan doesn't show up when you're winning. She shows up when you're about to become something else entirely. And she's been appearing to thousands of people lately, in dreams, in grief, in the exact moments when the old version of you is dying. Pop culture made her a villain. A screaming harbinger of doom with the goth aesthetic cranked to 11, all hot topic energy and theatrical death prophesies. She's been flattened into this one-note dark goddess, the kind you'd see on a Pinterest board next to skulls and ravens and the words a chaos witch. But the Irish texts show something far stranger. She's a sovereignty goddess who appears as three sisters, sometimes one woman, sometimes a crow, always at the threshold. She doesn't fit into neat categories because she's not supposed to. She's the moment between what was and what's coming, the space where transformation actually happens. And here's what they get wrong. She doesn't cause death. She reveals what's already dying. What needs to die? What you've been clinging to past its time, the relationship, the identity, the version of yourself that stopped serving you 3 years ago but you're still dragging around like a corpse. The warriors who earned her favor didn't fear death. They understood transformation. They knew that battlefield courage and personal evolution were the same thing, just different scales. That's the actual key. She's not testing whether you're brave enough to die. She's testing whether you're brave enough to let the old you die so something true can take its place. Here's where everyone gets it wrong. They'll tell you the Morrigan is 3 goddesses, Badb, Macha, Nemain, like they're sisters with different specialties. Battle, sovereignty, prophecy. Clean little boxes. But that's not what's happening. She's not 3 beings doing different jobs. She's 3 frequencies of the same annihilating power, and you need all 3 if you're actually going to transform. Badb is the battle frenzy itself. The ecstatic violence of necessary destruction. Not random chaos. This is the part of you that knows exactly what needs to burn. Macha is sovereignty and the land beneath your feet. The queen who will not be taken, only chosen. She's the blood-deep understanding that you belong to yourself, and that costs something. Nemain is the panic. The terror that unmakes you before anything new can begin. The part where you stand at the edge and every cell in your body screams to run. And the Morrigan is all 3 at once because that's how real change works. You can't have the destruction without claiming what's yours. You can't claim sovereignty without walking through the fear. You can't face the fear without letting something die. She's not fragmented. She's complete. And she's showing you the full price of becoming. So what did she actually do? Because the stories matter. They're not just mythology, they're the pattern. She appeared to see you Chularin once, young and beautiful, and offered herself to him. Not as a prize. As an equal. He refused her. Insulted her, actually. And she looked at him and said, "You're going to regret this." He did. She harassed him through his final battles, shapeshifting into an eel, a wolf, a heifer, tripping him up until he died tied to a standing stone. That's what happens when you reject the Morrigan. At the Battle of Mag Twid, she didn't fight. She prophesied victory first, then stood over the battlefield and chanted. Just words. Just her voice. And the enemy collapsed into confusion and terror. After it was over, after the victory, she prophesied again, but this time, the end of the world. Not as punishment. As inevitability. Because she doesn't comfort you. She tells you what's true. She slept with the Dagder at Samhain, 1 foot on each side of a river. Threshold magic. Sovereignty given and taken in the liminal moment between worlds. Every story follows the same script. She offers power to those who can meet her as an equal. And she destroys anyone who tries to dominate her. She doesn't ask for worship. She asks if you can stand in front of fate without flinching. If you've been dreaming of crows, feeling her name in your chest, seeing her imagery everywhere, you're not alone. This is happening to thousands of people right now, and it's not random. We're in a collective threshold moment. Old systems dying. New versions of ourselves demanding to be born. And she is the threshold goddess. The Morrigan doesn't come when you're ready. She comes when the version of you that's been running the show is finally, actually done. When the mask cracks. When the story you've been telling yourself stops working. When you can't pretend anymore that everything's fine. That's when she shows up. Grief, rage, transformation, the end of relationships or identities or entire life chapters. That's her territory. And we're all there right now. Collectively. Personally. The old world is ending and we can all feel it. She's not interested in love and light. She's interested in people willing to see clearly, choose sovereignty, and let what needs to die actually die. Not spiritually bypass it. Not positive think it away. Actually let it end. That's why you're feeling her. You're standing at a threshold, whether you chose it or not. And she doesn't guide you across gently. She reminds you that you've always had the power to cross it yourself. You just have to stop waiting for permission. Let's talk about how she shows up. Because the Morrigan doesn't knock, she leaves signs, and if you know what you're looking at, you'll recognize her before she has to get loud about it. Crows and ravens first. They're not death omens, no matter what Victorian poetry told you. They're messengers between worlds. Watchers. They see what you're pretending not to see. That thing you're lying to yourself about. The crow already knows. Rivers and fords, those in-between places where one territory becomes another. That's where sovereignty gets decided. Not on solid ground, but in the crossing. The liminal space where you're neither here nor there. She lives in that threshold. Her colors are red and black. Blood and void. Life and death. The two ends of every transformation. You can't have one without the other, and she won't let you pretend otherwise. And that image of her washing blooded armor at the ford? She's not predicting your death. She's showing you what's already over. The battle you've already lost or won. The truth you've been avoiding. The relationship that ended 6 months before you admitted it. If these symbols start clustering in your life, crows everywhere, dreams of rivers, red and black showing up in weird places, she's not haunting you. She's inviting you to stop pretending and step into your actual power. Here's what most people get wrong. They think working with the Morrigan means total surrender. It doesn't. She respects boundaries if you set them clearly. This isn't about submission. It's a sovereign-to-sovereign relationship. She doesn't want devotees who crumble. She wants allies who stand. Offerings matter, but they're simple. Dark beer or wine. Red meat, if that's accessible. Your own creative work, the thing you made when you were afraid to make it. Acts of fierce protection for yourself or others. She doesn't need your fear. She wants your choice. Don't ask her to make decisions for you. She won't. She'll just strip away everything until you can finally decide for yourself. That's not punishment. That's her teaching method. She shows you what happens when you refuse your own power. Shadow work is inevitable with her, but it's not cruel. She shows you what's true so you can stop carrying what isn't yours. The shame that was never yours. The guilt you inherited. The smallness you learned to perform. She'll burn through all of it, but only so you can see what remains. If she's called you, it's because you have the capacity to transform, not because you're broken. She doesn't waste time on people who won't choose themselves. You're here because somewhere inside you, there's something that refuses to die. The next time you see a crow at a crossroads, or feel that pull toward transformation that terrifies you, that's not random. She's already chosen you. The question is whether you're ready to choose her back. Follow Blackfire Atelier. I'll see you in the shadows.